War II. They constituted the first African-American flying unit in the United States military. In January of 1941, the War Department formed the all-black 99th Pursuit Squadron of the United States Army Air Corps. Later, the Army changed its name to United States Army Air Forces. In January of 1941, the War Department formed the all-black 99th Pursuit Squadron of the United States Army Air Corps, later the United States Army Air Forces, to be trained using single-engine planes at the segregated Tuskegee Army Airfield in Tuskegee, Alabama. The NAACP, the black press, and others had been lobbying hard for the government to allow African Americans to become military pilots. However, neither the NAACP nor the most involved black newspapers approved the solution of creating separate black units. They believed that approach simply perpetuated segregation and discrimination. Nevertheless, largely at the behest of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a separate unit was created. The Tuskegee base opened on July 19th.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing? This is Lyne't with the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW. Today's date is Tuesday, March 29th of 2018. And I want to first give our call station announcements. You're watching the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. You're most likely catching the show on KUAW-radio here on Facebook, but I would advise everyone to go over to Twitter, like and subscribe, like the show, subscribe to the channel so that you can get the Twitter feed, because we were literally just watching Facebook just twirl just now while he was loading me up. So you might miss the show on Facebook because it might not load up. Go on over to Twitter. You don't have the headaches. You good. I'm not doing the foolishness part of what all is going on, but I'm gonna let me finish the call letters. KUAW Radio on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TuneIn app, and Twitch. So what you want to do is make sure that when you go to YouTube, I keep saying Twitter, I don't know why I say Twitter. When you go to YouTube, you want to subscribe and like the Lyne't Gray Show videos. Go down to YouTube and just like all the videos, just like them all. And you want to subscribe, and you want to subscribe with every single email that you have. We're trying to get our subscribership up here on YouTube as well, because YouTube has been faithful on making sure that our videos are streaming perfectly and we don't have any issues, because Facebook, yeah. But anyways, I wanted to start off with announcing our Tuesday schedule. I'm going to start taking my shows and letting y'all know what we have on KUAW, because someone was talking to me about another station, and I'm like, KUAW has that. KUAW has that. And they're like, really? Y'all got all that? Yes, we have all of that. So our Tuesday schedule is at midnight, Warren B. Hour 1 o'clock, Warren B. Hour 2, Smooth Jazz from 2 to 3 a.m., the News Hour at 4. Oh, these are p.m. or a.m.? Oh, no, these are a.m. Truth Be Told at 5 a.m., Radio for All at 6, Neon Jazz at 7, Radio for All at 8. People Behind the Science at 9. Warren B. Hours 1 and 2 from 10 to 12, basically. George Old School from noon to 3 p.m. And then News Hour again at 4, Old Time Radio at 5, Truth Be Told again at 6, The Source of the Inkwell hour long at 7, various KUA talk shows at 8. That's me.
Yeah, why do we got various on that? That should be Lyne't.
Yeah, it should be my show. Yeah. Heavy Storm Part 1 and Part 2. From 9 and 10, and George Old School at 11. Okay, so here's what happens. We have, and this is like just the Tuesday schedule. I have Monday through Sunday sitting here. We have an abundance of different shows on KUAW. I'm not wanting anyone to think that you're not getting quality radio from watching KUAW. We're the first global community radio station. So you're going to get quality and diverse. A lot of people think it's a black only station. We have non-black people who have shows on KUAW. Come on now, y'all. We are just a show that promotes black shows, where you're not gonna find our shows anywhere else. We're a station that gives people a chance. So first things first, all y'all truck drivers and 1099 people, dump your $500 here right now. Get your yearly tax deduction out right now. Dump it here on KUAW.org. Go to the donate tab. You will get your tax deductible slip from KUAW. Go on ahead and get that out the way now. So you ain't got to worry about dumping at the end of the year. You ain't got to worry about how much you spent, how much you dumped. You got to get all these receipts together. Put it all BFTAA or KUAW.org or even Easting Village. You want to donate to those places. And the reason being because they absolutely, my earrings are by Lakai and Lyne't design. I love it, but they go with the theme of the show. But I want everyone to start supporting, because one of the things that I found is black institutions of greatness don't get the support. And we need for everyone to understand that if we're going to continue to have institutions of greatness, and you want to not hear, oh, well, that show went off or this person stopped, you have to start supporting. And financial support is the most important, because the Black News Channel went under right after they had their highest ratings because there was no support. He couldn't pay his employees, things of that nature. They got their highest ratings from the Ketanji Brown Jackson, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's hearing. But right when he got the results, he had to shut down. That's got to be heartbreaking. So we want to learn how to support our literally start building support for our community pillars that give us information and help us. I want to say that this is hard for me, y'all, because this has been a hard week for me in general since Sunday. Well, since the hearings began, watching how Justice Brown was handled versus the other. People don't know that 45 appointed Supreme Court justices, and they were in no way taken through the ringer like she was. And then my little sister, since we were 14 years old when I met her in high school, our freshman year, tomorrow is her anniversary of her passing, and I witnessed it in 2018. I and our two brothers had to make the decision to end her suffering at the hospital. But what led her to suffering was injustices against Black women. I'm not going to speak because this is public radio, but there's a certain police station. She was hit by a car on 35th and Prospect in Kansas City, Missouri. And a certain police station did not do their due diligence, and the driver gave them all false information. He told them he didn't have his driver's license on him. And so subsequently from that accident, my sister got worse. And when she was normally used to walking and she couldn't walk anymore, she was on a walker and things of that nature, she got worse. And the worst thing about it is there was no one to hold accountable about the wreck, about he literally hit her with a car, and everybody said he did it like on purpose. There was no one to even find, for the police didn't take a picture of him or anything. He may be on their cameras if they had them on their body cameras if they had them on. But this show is dedicated to the queens. And the reason why I call my Black American sisters queens is because the fiasco that happened exposed that even a lot of us turn on each other. I'm just going to say this. We have been discussing in our community the whole Kanye West and Kim Kardashian divorce and how he's behaving. And our own sisters have sided with Kim Kardashian, have said that Kanye is bullying her, never recognized not once that they are antagonizing each other. She's just using another mentally disturbed man to antagonize her mentally disturbed husband. But everyone is saying, oh, well, Kanye needs to leave her alone. He's bullying her. He's this, he's that. But when it comes to our sister, Jada Pinkett Smith, who her husband loves her, and their indiscretion is their indiscretion. That's between them, him, her, August, and God. But despite everything that happened, she has not once done anything wrong to her husband publicly at all. He said on national internet TV, I am done with her. He said, I told you I was done with you. I wanted you away from me. So when a man says, I'm done with you, I want you away from me, he's done with you. He wants you away. So you can sit around and wait around if you want to, but that man is done. And he probably only reneged on it because his kids. That's probably the only reason why. And then they decided to redo their relationship and say, okay, it's not going to be this. But regardless, he took his wife back. Now we have a story of a black woman being bullied about her hair. And people don't get it. I don't care what happened between the two men. The very man who bullied this black woman over her hair created a very in-depth documentary explaining the importance of hair to a black woman. I need y'all to understand that. And my mom always told me, everybody ain't joking when they tell a joke about you. You don't let people get away with telling jokes when they hurt. And you can hide under the guise of being a comedian, but the joke hurt. How many black women look in our mirrors and our hair isn't what it used to be? My hair is not as full as what it used to be. My curl ain't as springy as what it used to be the older I get. And I noticed this. And people say, oh, you have beautiful hair. And the only thing I think is, oh, this mess looks like a bad Jerry curl. We have to begin to understand that everybody is attacking our sister for something that her husband felt needed to be protected. Last I checked, the old school rules, you don't mess with a man's mama, his wife, or his family. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but those were the rules growing up. You leave a man's mama alone, you leave his wife alone, and you leave his family alone. So regardless of what happened between two grown men that have both since apologized, Jada Pinkett Smith, our sister, is taking a beating in the media for this situation. Everyone commenting did not hear the comedian say, oh, he basically said, oh, I'm about to light into her. Y'all think that was rough? Because nobody heard the crowd go, ooh, ooh. Because everybody in the crowd knows she has an autoimmune disease that causes her alopecia. It was no secret. It was put on her Instagram page, and umpteen million blue check marks was well wishing her. But we as black women, we're we can't do anything right. We can't be good wives. We can't be bad wives. If you're a good wife, look at Steph Curry's wife. They drag her through the mud. LeBron James' wife, they find things wrong with her. You're a good wife, you get dogged. You're a quote unquote bad wife, you get dogged. We can't have hair. I have hair all the time, and my own sisters, my fellow queens say, you need to do something with your hair. Your hair always look a mess every time I see you. But then if we don't have any hair, we're made fun of. If we have locks, they're not professional. Ooh, I don't like the way dreadlocks look. They're not dreadlocks, they're locks. If we have alopecia and one of the women chooses to try to wear her hair despite the alopecia, oh, she needs to cover that up. She at least need to put a wig on or something. We make an indiscretion, we're ruined for the rest of our lives. We live a perfect life, we're goody two-shoes. All in all, people complain about being bullied and beat up on. But y'all ever see, like, in situations where there's a bully in the school and the people who don't want to be bullied by the bully will start bullying the person. They will join in and help the bully that one person that they single out, even if it's just sitting there laughing at them. Even if it's nobody will go stand next to that person and say, guess what? You gonna fight him, you gotta fight me. Nobody will do that. Nobody thinks we have, and I hate to say this, but some kind of way, the 57 and under crowd done lost respect for the black woman. Men and women, y'all need to go hug your mothers until it does not hurt anymore. Because I ain't met a white man yet who done messaged me in my inbox, who done said something to me in public, who done texted my phone, who ain't said, baby girl, the instant that he would have ran his mouth on you like that, and you ain't even my wife, I'd have walked up there and it would have been blood flying all over that stage. This is from the white men, and I'm not even their wife. It would have been worse if one said Will should have smacked him on both sides of his face, made him turn the other cheek. But we as a people say, oh no, massa looking. We can't act a fool in front of massa. When can we not defend our families? Black women, it don't take nothing to understand the problem with our hair is everybody else. We have no problem with our hair, but we gotta give ourselves alopecia in order to make it look good for other people. And hers isn't even traction. She has an autoimmune disorder. She has a line of hair right where my sunglasses are, a line of hair that just completely disappeared. And if the wind, they could do all the cover-up styling if they wanted to, but if the wind blew, literally, it was going to show that missing line. So she just decided to take it away. This is a woman who's used to sitting on her hair. She's used to her hair being at elbow length. She's used to all of that. It's traumatizing, but to me, what is more traumatizing is the fact that we punch down on each other. Like I said, I have on my queen necklace because everybody who plays chess know what the queen does on the board. The queen is the protector. The king sits back, and when the queen come for you, you done for. The queen has to protect herself, and she has to protect the kingdom. The queen protects each level of her army, including herself. When you capture the queen, you have put the king in danger of being put in check. Y'all don't realize that we as a people have allowed our parents and our grandparents did their job. They did more than their job. In from the start of the civil rights movement, clean into the 70s, they took beatings, they took mess off of cops that they wasn't supposed to be taking as kids. How many of y'all got a high schooler? You want a SWAT full of cops just rushing your kids because they walking out the building violently? Do I have to remind people that the Westport High School riots was not some kids acting a fool knocking out windows of a school? They simply just walked out of class in silent protest and got beat up by cops. My uncle was a state track runner, a star football player, and his coach had to tell him to get in the car. A white coach got him out of there because then police was coming for him because they walked out of class. They did their part. But then those of us born during that time decide, for some unknown reason, that we not going to respect the institution of family, what our parents and grandparents went through to get us where we are. Oh, we better than them. We better. Even when we ain't doing better. Some kind of way we're better. The love and the family unit that they put together, we can't respect that. Every time somebody says, oh, our grandparents stayed together, oh, that's because grandpa was beating grandma. No, not all men. Back then, the men didn't play that. Put your hands on a woman. They didn't play that. The men now do. Some of y'all grandparents might have went through it, but the men didn't play that. Yet here we are now as a people. And I see hi, Miss Walker, I see my sister, Anita Dixon. She done been through the ringer, and her and Ketanji Brown are like literal twins. When I saw Ketanji, I was like, she look like Anita. But they're literal twins, and they literally have been through the same abuse at the hands of our people. I posted something about they love on my page. Her and her husband's love. And I literally said, and this is long before the whole incident that went down at the Oscars, I said, that man is sitting there and he's saying in his mind, he don't want to mess it up for his wife. But if they keep going in on his wife, it's on sight. And I called it because I seen how he was sitting there with his arms crossed like, man, if my wife's goal was not to be on the Supreme Court, it's yo and I'm the lawnmower. Yo is grass and I'm the lawnmower. Certain shots, when you look at it, that man is controlled rage because he's looking at what his wife is going through. And some of the stupidest things people are saying to her, and some of the most mean and hurtful things people are saying to her. And then she comes home and she gets on the internet. Ain't nobody said nothing about them justices that 45 put in there. But, oh, we don't want that black woman. No, we don't put her in there. Why? Because y'all upset because she's dark skinned with dreadlocks, sister locks. They the same thing, just thinner. Y'all upset? She don't deserve this? When you look at what she's done versus all the other justices, she should have been elected before any of them other new justices. But we don't support ourselves. And then our people get upset when somebody else says, oh, I love you. Your own people don't love you. You're amazing. I love you. And they got to deal with the mess, the internal mess that we go through in the beginning of just simply trusting a man. And they love us through that. I can't tell you how many times I've been verbally attacked for dating African men. Verbally attacked. I'm like, dude, he's the original of what you trying to be. Why are you mad at me for that? So I couldn't imagine having a white man. Oh my gosh. God forbid. A black woman should never be loved. She should go to her grave in death, having not been loved and waiting on one of her own to come rescue her and love her. Because don't no black woman married to a white man need to be rescued. She don't need a man for nothing but to love her. That's it. That's it. But we as the queens got to guard the board. We as the queens got to not only stand our ground, make sure that everything in our community is right, but then we got to protect our king who only protects himself. See, this is where y'all done turn this thing, and Mr. Walker, I'm trying to be restrained, but they done took me back to 2018 Lyne't. The Lyne't who didn't give a dang about what I said. But I'm going to read what Anita said. She said, I hope this recorded because Hollywood coons need to hear this. You Sambos, you coons, and not just in Hollywood, but to all of you who think it's okay, women and men, to tear this woman down, and all she did was sit there in a beautiful dress, in a chair, with her hair shaved. She wasn't, oh, she should have stopped. That's why y'all men be getting knocked out now, because y'all females think y'all can intervene in a man's situation, and you're grabbing a man by his arms and his hands when he's trying to do. You ain't gonna stop a determined man. Trust me. You better stand there, get your stance in and hike up just in case one of his boys is going to jump in, the other dude's boys. But you're not going to stop a determined man who is determined to protect. I'm a grant y'all one thing. He warned that was the mild joke about her. He warned us. That's what got the joke slapped out his mouth. I let you get that one off. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. It better not come out your mouth for the rest of this show. Because see, y'all don't understand. And now we reading through and everybody's, what have you read? What is somebody saying me? You protecting her and her white man. Have you read her record on her record on sentencing child pornography? So I went in and I read the record. I went in and I read it. I wasn't pleased with it. But then I went back and read the other justices. See, this is where it shows me that y'all just are hateful to black women. Hateful. Black women and black men. Listen. And no offense to my African people. Y'all know I love y'all. But African women are protected. You disrespect an African woman, you got a whole tribe on your head. I promise you. Black American women, the way Africans see us, some of the things I've heard Africans say to me about the way they see us and are taught about us, we're not protected by nobody except for our elders, because they've been through the struggle of getting respect for their people. But literally, We have a woman who was bullied about her hair, who has been bullied by a man in the name of comedy since I was married to my former spouse. Never forget, he and I was sitting up in the bed. He and I were sitting up in the bed. We heard this man say a joke about her, and he went in, and my former spouse looked at me and said, next time he's like, man, Will a good one. Because when I see him, I knock the teeth out his mouth. Me and my ex-spouse separated in 2015. That tells you how long the bullying has been going on. 2015. But she's at fault. She's at fault because of this whole situation. She was supposed to get up in a dress that she can barely move in, fall all over the place trying to stop her husband, who's sitting almost probably 6 feet away from her, to go up on stage to stop a grown man from smacking some jokes out of another grown man's mouth. But see, the black woman is to blame, while Kim Kardashian is literally playing two mentally ill men against each other in everybody's eyes. I could care less about the Kardashian West situation, because that's two narcissists going at it. Y'all are never going to see this end because narcissists don't want to lose. Y'all not going to see this end because narcissists, that's the reason why they haven't started divorce proceedings. Because narcissists don't want to lose. So that's what I need everybody to understand. We as a people have to get back to protecting us. Only on the internet can you find videos of men ranting against black women. I mean, ranting. Black men. You don't even find African men ranting against African women. You don't. Black American men ranting against black American women. This tells me that this is a whole group of coons, women and men. Y'all need to go hug y'all mama until it don't hurt no more. And I'm not talking about hug and talk to her. Your mama or whoever your guardian was, go stand there, wrap your arms around that woman, hold her tight, and just be until the pain goes away. It's no longer funny. And exactly, Anita said, hood rules apply. Chris Rock knew better. He just hides behind that. It's just a joke, bull. And we all from the hood. Chris Rock is from the hood. He knows for a fact you don't tell a joke about nobody's wife. Chris Rock did the documentary on how important hair is to a black woman. And then you gonna not only address her bald hair, you can lie and say you didn't know she had alopecia. But the one thing I love about Sean Edwards let it be known that the jokes had to be cleared by somebody. Everybody in Hollywood knows this. So even if Chris didn't know, somebody else knew. But see, he's got this new special coming out, and they're trying to make him back the old, in-your-face, stand-up, controversial Chris Rock. And folks ain't playing that no more. You can't say Will Smith tarnished his legacy. He won the Oscar. He getting paid for the rest of his life off the Oscar. And even if they take his Oscar back, guess what? Will Smith been done making movies. If he do it again, that's because he want to. That's why he on a book tour. He told y'all he set a plan, and he worked that plan, and his family suffered because he worked that plan. Now he's in his relax and retire stage. But if I make a movie, it's because I want to. It's because something I believe in. But we all from the hood know. Somebody get to cracking jokes and we like, psh. And the look Jada gave Will was, see, here he go. That wasn't no go smack him look, but you could tell a whole bunch of people commenting they never had no hands. Never had no hands. Y'all making all these comments, but the first thing I said when they talked about it, I said, what did he say to that man? He warned Will, this is mild. Get ready. I'm about to ride your wife all night long. Hence the words, keep my wife's name out your mouth. It worked. But y'all need to quit blaming Jada for that situation. All Jada did was sit there and be beautiful with her bald head. Y'all need to quit bringing up her relationship with August Alsina, because August Alsina said he went and talked to Will and said, hey, is it okay for me to date your wife? Will said, yeah, I'm done with her. Y'all don't remember that? Y'all making it seem like she's just some chick that was cheating. He literally said, he asked Will, and Will said, yes, I'm done with her. Will said she wasn't ever happy. It wasn't nothing he could do to make her happy. That's what Will said. So he told her, you go be happy. And when you figure out whatever makes you happy, then you can come back to me if that's what makes you happy. But I'm done with you. I don't know what to do with you. You're always sad and depressed. And it was because she lost her Hollywood career. That's all. That's all. That's I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why she got depressed. She became a wife and a mother, which is something she didn't want to do. But see, we Black American women, and somebody said that Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson reminds them of the Obamas. And I've been correcting people all along. No, it doesn't. Because Michelle Obama gave up her life to be Michelle Obama. She would have been the first Supreme Court justice. I promise you that, as a Black woman. But she stepped back to support her husband's dreams. And people don't understand that we give a lot as Black women. And then even in her keeping her law degree and using it, she wasn't using it to the capacity that she wanted to. Y'all got to understand that there is a place to protect Black women. And I'm saying Black American women because literally, who protects us? We're good for sex. That's it. We're not wife material. We're not mom material. We're not corporate material. We're not business material. We good for sex. We're not worth being protected. We're not worth saying her hair is off limits to a man who made a full-on documentary because his daughters were sad that they didn't have good hair. It's hair. When do we get our protectors? Guess what, queens? If you keep waiting on that protector by foregoing your relationships with other races, you just may never get it. And just like the Smiths, a Black couple, if you keep tearing down a man who will smack the taste out of somebody's mouth for verbally disrespecting you, you're tying his hands. Now let's get on the subject of Black women's hair, because everyone knows that I'm a natural hair growth specialist. I'm a hair growth specialist. I can grow white hair, black hair, Asian hair, whatever. We got to understand this one thing: an autoimmune disorder, the hair is the waste on the body. It's the waste. This right here is the same as feces. It just comes out the scalp. The nails are the waste on your phalanges. It's the same as feces and urine. It just comes out the hands. So the one thing you all know about waste that exits from the body is it's been depleted of all vitamins and minerals. The one thing a lot of people don't know. Let me read these comments. Charles and Zally said, damn, you digging deep. Charles, they didn't took me back. I'm sorry. You know, brother, they didn't took me back. I'm upset. Anita Dixon said, if you keep waiting on some of these so-called brothers, you'll be wrong. You know what? And I'm gonna let me step away from the hair tutorial. You're so right, because I have buried so many of my Black aunts, my daughter's grandmother. The most amazing. This woman was a beast. She made it from, was it Dale, Arkansas? Walking around, she said, with no shoes, stealing watermelon and food out the other sharecroppers' crops, being called, quote unquote, the PP girls in high school because they was poor, to being, when she passed away in 2004, Citibank and Southwestern Bell CEOs told everybody what her true positions were in those companies. She waited on her black man. She had 2 children. She died without a husband. I, with my own eyes, witnessed the men who were not black, who was in love with A. Jean Ross. I was like, Miss Ross, you don't like him? He's not. She's like, girl, I only date black men. She died with 2 kids, but didn't have a ring. And one of them was so disrespectful, he married another woman while he's with her. But that's our brothers, right? Right? See, y'all got to understand, and this is one thing a lot of people don't understand. Being a black American woman, all statistics show us at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to favor amongst other people. But it shows us at the top of the totem pole when it comes to achievements. Black American women. How is there such an imbalance with us? How? How do we achieve so much, but yet everybody dog us? I'm just trying to figure this one out. How have we not been broken and we still raise people who do amazing things? The legacy continues, but we ain't good enough. We only good enough for the sex. Y'all will have a baby with us in a heartbeat, but you won't marry us. And my dark-skinned African-American sisters, they got it the worst. It's hurtful because I gave birth to a beautiful, dark-skinned Black American woman. And people from all over try to choose to beat down on her. Her confidence is too much, and them hands got, she might be Ivy League educated, but them hands is just as cold as that mouth. I made sure of that. But I watched my daughter with her beautiful little cheerleading pretty self. When she was 17 years old, I marched her up to Forever 21 on the plaza. We walked in there. She's supposed to meet with the hiring manager. He comes down. He looks at her. He looks at her and asks, so who are you again? She said, I'm Jaquita, in her perfect little white girl cheer voice. She had her perfect little smile with her braces and she was just gorgeous. And he looks at her and told her, we're not hiring anybody else. But then her friend who had an interview after her, who was lighter skinned, got hired. But you told my child you wasn't. And she asked me not to go back up there and act a fool. Her and my ex-husband, because I was going to whoop that man from the front of that store to the back. My baby was broken-hearted over being turned down by Forever 21. That was her blessing, because she wound up being chosen for stores that were way far. And she wound up working on the plaza. And she wound up working at a store that was way far better than Forever 21. More money, all of that. Store grosses more money. But it's sad that we have to protect ourselves. And people say, oh, Black women always on the internet showing their body. That's the only thing that get them attention. That's the only thing that gets people to give them positive confirmation. A lot of women are broken and hurt. Y'all will lay with a Black American woman, and all of y'all men, y'all will lay with us, talk about how amazing the sex is. But we ain't wives, though. But then you get mad if we marry a white man, a Mexican, an Asian, Hispanic, Latino, Russian. Everybody get mad at Russia, but Russia snagged black women up. Black American women, every man I know that's European, that's married to a black American woman and treats her like gold, he's Russian. So I don't have no dog in that hunt. Because evidently they teaching them to honor black American queens. And they just as loud as she is. She ain't got to tone down. She ain't got to stop running her mouth. She's too loud. I encountered a couple years ago in a store. He yelling across the store to her. She yelling back to him. They get up to each other. He did something. She's swinging and kicking at him. He laughing. They loud. And I'm like, who is these old ghetto folks up in here acting? Turn the corner. It's a black woman and what I thought was a white man. Come to find out he was Russian. See, we're good enough. I need us to understand that we need to open our minds and stop being not good enough to the people who don't want us and stop caring. Black women, stop punching down on each other. We all we got, except for our elders and a few really good black men, but they're already taken. So we all we got. Why don't we stand together? Why don't we stand together? And standing together does not mean hating other people. Because see, let me explain to y'all something about hate. Lyne't is proud to be Lyne't. You're not gonna catch me hating nobody else, because if I'm hating you, I can't be proud of me. You get it? So you don't mistreat other people. You treat everybody with love, but you love yourself more. And you love people that look like you more. And you understand some of these black women out here are doing the things they do because they're hurt. They're hurting. And there's nobody to stop their hurt. Nobody to tell them they're worthy. We can go anywhere in the world. First thing people say, you know, black American women, African American. And it's become, African American has literally become a derogatory term, like calling somebody the N-word. Y'all don't notice that because y'all don't interact with people outside of the U.S. I do. You call me an African American and say it in the wrong way, I'm going to Will Smith you because I know what you mean by it. We have to start being there for one another. We have to start encouraging one another. We have to say, when black love chooses to say, I forgive you, stop targeting the women. Just stop. That what happened between the Smiths ain't none of our business. None. That man loves his wife, and y'all saw it. Why would you be angry at her for being in a beautiful dress, bald head, sitting in her chair, having a joke thrown at her that she didn't like, and she looked at her husband like, see, here he go again. The husband was warned that more worse jokes were coming. And then the husband, hearing that more jokes are coming, puts a stop to it. She's sitting a ways away in this big old dress that you can't even move in. But she caused it. The pain of our hair. I need y'all to understand this. The pain of what we've gone through based on our hair, man. Based on being born where they stole our ancestors off of their tribes, their American Indian tribes, and from Africa and brought them over here. We didn't have a say-so in this, y'all. We didn't have a say-so in not knowing our history, but our elders and our ancestors created things for us to carry on. The spring cleaning, the cleanliness is next to godliness. The keeping your kids clean and oiled and beautiful. keeping the clothes washed and ironed, cooking certain food every Sunday, making sure your kids go to school with at least a sandwich and some chips, making sure they got play clothes and play shoes, and then clothes and shoes they wear everywhere. I honor my ancestors. Making sure when you walk in our house, it smells good, looks good. Our table is set for the Queen of England, and ain't nobody ate at the dining room table unless they got to move everything off of it first, because them my good dishes. I better not catch you eating on my gold line stuff. You go to work. You're taught that your way out of this pain is via education, but mainly work. Put your hand to the grindstone and you go get it, because ain't nobody gonna give it to you. And we can't do nothing right, not even amongst ourselves. It's sickening. When you know somebody struggle, you're supposed to support them and say, you know what, sis, I know things is messed up for you right now. Let me help you with this. I'm explaining to you how petty black women are. Petty, petty. I was in an abusive relationship, abusive marriage. That man had me out there. I'm like, you want to go to Bible study tonight? I was like, we ain't going to Bible study. I've been out here working in the yard, helping you throw dang on rocks. And let's go. Now, if I'd have stayed home, I'd have had to fight that man. I go to church. Let me tell you how petty black women are. I go to church because I hadn't had a shower. But I'm just like, okay. I get to church. Next thing you know, the following Sunday, and I sit in the back on purpose because I hadn't had a shower. The following Sunday, they bring me a basket with all kind of toiletries and smell good and perfumes and bath soaps and all of that. But when they bring it to me, I smell good. And I'm clean. They just only had that one incident. That one. But they took it upon themselves to say, oh, she got all them kids, she's dirty. You ain't never seen me dirty except for that day. But see, that's the pettiness of black women. Instead of coming to me and saying, okay, sis, you came in here, everything going on at home? Everything okay? They had a meeting and decided to give a woman who ran a perfume company a basket with cheap. You know what? I wouldn't even be mad if y'all had gave me some luxury shit. Y'all gave me cheap shit. Excuse me, I am cussing on air. But I'm mad because that's how we do each other. That's how it's done. No one noticed I wasn't getting drugged in church. Because I can see an abused victim from a mile away. But y'all got the Holy Ghost, right? We're too busy as black women beating down on one another. And black men, y'all, many black American men, the state of our people is doomed. I'm so disappointed. I'm so upset. Because I asked my African fiance, I said, so here's the situation. I just played out the situation. I didn't give my input. I said, what would you have done? He said, I'd have smacked him. Now, an African man knows enough to stop another man from harassing his wife. Why? Because it's passed down to them. Nobody messes with your family. Period. But massa done beat it out of y'all DNA. It's encoded in y'all DNA to shrink. It's encoded in y'all DNA not to be a protector. All of you Sambos and coons who want to come against her and talk about her when she was the one being bullied. Y'all upset me on this. I cannot believe, but then I can, because look at the state of our children. Y'all saying Sambos and Coons won't even go to town for our children. All these other school districts, the kids got everything. Only thing our school districts got, the kids got track, basketball, football, cross country. That's it. They ain't got no acting. They don't have carpentry. They don't have agri-science. They don't have none of that. They just got reading, writing, and arithmetic. And if they have cross country, that's because it's probably one kid that ran it. They don't have golf. So the state of our people is because them kings, these new kings, I'm not talking about the kings that were teenagers in the 70s. I'm talking about y'all that was born in the late 60s, early 70s, and it moved all the way up till now. I'm talking about y'all. Y'all selfish. Majority of y'all are so sickening selfish. It doesn't make any sense. And Black American women, quit pandering to people who hate you. My mama told me if somebody don't like you, mother had them, mother loved them, mother. And that came from my mama and my grandma. Quit trying to be accepted. If you look at y'all double talking Negroes. Y'all support Kim Kardashian, but y'all tearing down Jada Pinkett Smith, and she didn't do nothing wrong. I'm gonna be on y'all head. I promise you. It ain't gonna be a day go by where y'all ain't gonna hear my mouth. So you might as well mute me, block me, unfriend me. But since we good enough to lay up and open our legs, we good enough to treat with respect. And if you got issues with us, go hug your mama or whoever your guardian was that hurt you. You stand there and you hold them until it don't hurt no more. And heal. I'm not with it. I'm never going to be with it. I ain't no bully. I don't agree with bullying. And all jokes ain't jokes. You leave a Black woman's hair out of your mouth. You leave a Black woman's situation out of your mouth if you not helping us. I'm going to keep saying that. And this is from a Black woman who don't care who says what. And to all of y'all threatening me in my inbox, run up and get done up. Because I ain't never scared. Y'all have a good one.